Hey, everybody! Welcome to The Reliables, a live stream series here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. I am your host and GM, James Durham. Now, before we begin the show, I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Today, we remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and we celebrate everything that he stood and worked for during the years that he was with us. I feel it's important today to remember these things and to remember every person who has stood against oppression or been taken from us by those who would oppose these things. Today is a day to remind us that justice, equality, and the end of oppression are still goals that we need to work together towards, and that all of us can and should continue to work towards that. Thank you, everybody. And now, the show. The Reliables is an interactive Savage Worlds tabletop RPG show where you, our audience, have a direct impact on the story and events on the show. Zombie Orpheus Entertainment is celebrating our 11th anniversary as a company. That's 11 years of fan-supported, artist-driven, radically inclusive content. And thank all of you so much for all of your continued support and allowing us to bring you the best entertainment we possibly can. Oh, and now back to how you can have an effect on the show. We have a live store that you can make purchases from to change the course of the game as it is happening. And I want to take a moment to tell you about the things we have in that store. For $5, we have the Shout Out, which lets you give some advice, make a bad joke, or you get your message read aloud and show, wish somebody a birthday wish. Pretty much anything you want to include that will be eternally stored on that particular show, and anybody watching it will get to hear that and experience that. I will let you know that the bot will edit out or filter out any swear words or anything it perceives as a swear word. So please,
often in hilarious ways.
Yes, often in very hilarious ways. So try and keep it clean. For $15, we have the Friends with Benefits. And that allows you to give the cast of characters the ever valuable Benny to use in the game. It will be one in the pool that any one of those players can use. These are used to be the difference between success and failure, or re-roll rolls, perhaps avoid damage. They're the sort of thing that keeps people alive in the game of Savage Worlds. Let's see. You can do Treat the GM, which is also $15, which gives one of those really valuable bennies to me, the GM, and I can use those to make things more dangerous, hurt them easier, or keep bad guys alive longer. So it works for both of those things. Let's see, for $20, we have Win, Lose, or Draw, which any player can use when we're doing the initiative draw to draw an extra card and take whichever one of those two cards best suits them for the situation. Maybe they want to go last, maybe they want to go first, maybe they just want to pull more cards from the deck and try and get that joker sooner. It allows them to have that opportunity. Now, just for fun, we have Dance Magic Dance for $50, which allows you to, make us dance as your mortal puppets for your amusement. For $50, we have Story Time, where you get to select one of your cast members and have them tell you a story about something from their character's past. A wonderful treat of improv from this really incredibly talented cast of people we have here. At the $100 level, we have the Rule of Cool, where physics be damned, and each cast member comes up with the wildest, most epic, cinematic, amazing action thing to attempt. And then you, chat, get to vote on it. And the person that you select as the winner of the vote, they automatically critically succeed at their wild and crazy plan. And everyone else still has to try at an extra -2 penalty on top of any other penalties they might have accrued with their crazy, wild plan. And for $250, we have the nearly all-powerful Hack Attack, which lets you add your own creation, event, or moment into the game. From talking Winnebagos to spontaneous massive floods. Any one of those things. And remember, guys, that your purchases in the store are what keep this show and other shows like it funded. And you allow Zoe to bring you even more content and more stuff. Keep our lights on, keep our studio going, and let us bring in even more talented actors. So if you can contribute, please do. Join up with your friends in chat to contribute. Work together, plan things out. You have chat, as chat, have the incredible role to play in this show. So now let me take a moment and introduce to you our cast of characters. We've got some really fun stuff in this one. We've got Bryce Bebop, who plays the daring Vector Reigns, our cocky action hero extraordinaire. I've got Christian Doyle as Jonamox, who's serving out the remainder of his prison sentence, paroled to the team. Jonamox is the last surviving member of a species of shape-altering beings. Sean Franklin is John Stone of Masters of the Metaverse fame, cyborg, badass, team leader, and veteran of countless dimensional hopping adventures. It's up to John to forge this loose group of individuals into a functioning team. Elise Moore is Ranger Rhonda Riddenhauer, the last space ranger, protector of the galaxy. Rhonda jumped at the chance to join a team with the goal of making the universe a better place. Xander Layden is Paul, our enormous rock-like being and the last living creature from his dimension. Paul is an expert in all things science, academic, medicine, and occult, and they are driven by their insatiable curiosity and looks forward to each new dimension and discovery on the team's travels. Helen Roundhill is Princess Hedgehog, the last goblin from their dimension. Princess Hedgehog is a powerful practitioner of magic who greatly misses being the center of attention from their adoring fans. Together, they are the Reliables, traveling through time
Hashtag
and
benefits.
dimensions.
Glad to see all of you. Fun.
Thank you so much, guys. We've already got a benefits in the store. That's a Benny you guys will be able to spend while we're playing today's game. Thank you so much. Together, these folks are the Reliables, traveling through time and dimensions to make the universe a better place, one mistake at a time. Our story today begins on distant Hope Colony, an isolated community beyond the reaches of known space, where the thousands of individuals without homes, dimensions, or other surviving members of their species live together. It is quite possibly the most diverse community in the universe. For many long months, Paul, Vector Reigns, Ranger Rhonda, and Princess Hedgehog have made their home here until the opportunity to make a difference, to become a hero, came along. Today is the day that journey begins. Landing before them is the Reliance, a vessel capable of traveling through the near infinite dimensions, across time and space. And it is anything but an inspiring sight. Hull patches, cobbled together parts, rust and battle damage exist in innumerable places on the ship. It is in fact surprising that it can fly at all. It's over 100 meters from nose to tail and half again as wide. The beat-up, barely serviceable pile of junk comes to a rest unsteadily on 3 extended landing struts, metal groaning under the weight. A single wide ramp extends from the ship, offering access to the underside. Atop the ramp stands the impressive figure of the famed hero of the universe, John Stone.
Hey.
There it is, folks, your home for the foreseeable future. And a veritable celebrity, John Stone. Hero of the metaverse, hero of dimensions.
So you're just going to gawk, or you're going to come on and ship? We have stuff to do. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Coming, sir. I'm so excited to see you, sir. Very excited to be on the trip, sir. Captain, sir.
Is this dinghy bringing us to the larger ship?
Get your stuff. Is this all of it? Do you have everything?
Yes.
I mean, I have another trunk full of clothes in the back. If one of your crew members could grab that for me, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, you need to understand you're not royalty here, right? Get your own stuff.
I'm royalty everywhere I go.
Celebrities are royalty, just so we're aware.
You're
Vector?
royalty?
Yes, it's kind of in the name. Princess Hedgehog, Princess, royalty, yeah.
Just good to meet you. Do I bow? What's your thing? Do I bow? Do I stand? Do I bow?
You should get her things.
Oh, I mean, you could start by getting my trunks. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. Your Highness, your Grace, your
Ranger
lady,
Rhonda.
your goblin.
Do
Yes,
not
sir,
get her
Captain.
stuff.
Okay.
Everybody, get your own stuff and get on the ship.
Yes, sir. Captain,
Already
sir.
on the ship.
I'm so sorry. I will get it later. I totally promise.
Thank you so much. I'm so tired.
So I've
Boarding
got a
the
lot of
vessel
stuff with
and
me. Is
making
there
your
gonna
way
be-
to your assigned quarters, you all pass what cannot be mistaken for anything but a cell. Within it is a tall, hard-eyed being with strange clothing and of an indeterminate species.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
hello. I'm going to be your captain. Thank you all
Ooh.
for being aboard here. I'm glad you could be flying on this giant piece of garbage.
John Amux, shut up.
That's not a way to talk to your captain.
John
know.
Amux is a guest here just like the rest of you.
Yes, you'll all be in your own cells shortly.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't sign up for that. I obviously need better accommodation than whatever that is.
No,
permission to
you want to hear the
speak,
worst
sir?
part? This isn't even the dinghy. This is the actual ship.
And
Excuse me.
what a vessel it is.
So John Amux has a special arrangement with us. Don't mind him. You find the facilities over there. You can stow all your gear. We have mess hall over there. All the storage, the bridge that way. There's Pierce. He runs the ship. He's kind of a jerk, but whatever. He's a good pilot. Briefing room will be here, obviously, and all these other things you'll figure out in due time. Right now, we have a lot to talk about. We have missions to get situated for, so if you don't have any questions, we can just go ahead and get into the important stuff.
Question.
Permission to ask a question, sir.
Yes, Ranger.
I'm so sorry. Is that a criminal on board?
That is a criminal. John Amux is a criminal.
Technically, I'm on parole. I'd just like to point out that the crimes that I committed, the world that they were committed on no longer exists, and so I should technically be exonerated
That's logic.
and living happily on Hope Colony with the rest of you. But unfortunately, that isn't going to happen because my race was very bad, and since they're all dead, I have to be punished for their crimes because that's fair.
That just doesn't seem fair,
John Amux is here by special arrangement. He will earn his way to a full-fledged membership of the team if he can stay out of trouble long enough.
So just to be clear, we will be working with a criminal to do good?
He's here to earn his trust and respect back. Somebody thought that he deserved a chance, so it's not my call. I have people I answer to as well.
Redemption, always good. Yes, sir.
That's what I'm looking for, just redemption. Hey, I seem to have dropped that piece of metal on the floor. Could you hand that to me?
Oh, absolutely. Hang on. Let me get that
Thank
for
you
you.
so much. I
No.
appreciate that. Just pass it right through the bars. No?
Ranger,
Oh.
look. From now on, you're to assume that anything that he says to you is some attempt to try to pull one over to you, to get in your good graces, to earn your trust in some way that will help him to undermine our operations. Until he has earned the trust that he wants, he will be treated as a parolee, not yet a full member of our team.
Excuse me, John Stone? That really is my toothbrush, though. Can I have it?
I also have a question, Johnstone.
Yes.
Was that directly to Ranger Rhonda, or was that to everybody? If he says anything to anybody.
Oh, that is a good question. We should clarify that immediately, John Stone.
Because he seems legit to me.
Vector, you have something to say?
What?
Very well. We'll deal with that soon, Vector.
All right, then.
Do you folks know each other? Have you been acquainted yet?
Me and Rhonda have. How you doing?
Good. No. Stop talking to me. You're bad. Stop.
You're bad.
Yes.
Worse.
John Amok's bad. John Amok's bad.
John Amok's bad.
Honeycomb big.
So it's going to work out really well to be on a team together with somebody that we're not allowed to talk to or trust. Cool.
Well, you can talk to him. Just don't believe everything he says.
How much should
About
we believe?
4.3% at this point.
Do you know how many times I've lied to John Stone or just on the trip here? 0 times.
That was a lie too.
And that would be the truth then?
You'll never know. I mean, you've been told not to trust me. I guess I wouldn't. I think it's important to
So-
build
Until
one
the time
bond,
you're on
you
a
know?
mission together, then you can begin to trust each other, because at that point you will need to in order to survive. Okay?
So trust and no trust. Got it.
I mean, that's fine.
What?
So while the ship is in motion, do I have to hang out in my cell? Is that the? Because I could also wander the ship freely like a crew member, or if you wanted, I could ride in the cockpit with the captain guy, and he could show me how to fly the ship in case something ever goes wrong.
Just so you all know, there's nanotechnology within his form. He's a shapeshifter, but
Ruin all my
nanotechnology
surprises.
planted within his self allows me to, if need be, initiate a self-destruct sequence so that he
Can
cannot
I get
actually
this
do
reliable
anything
party
to
started
truly
reliably?
undermine
Hashtag
anything
dance,
that we have set out to
hashtag
do.
cool rule,
Isn't that
hashtag
right, John
sandals,
Bucks?
hashtag draw, hashtag jam, hashtag
Oh my
benefits
God,
also
guys!
dance,
Sorry to
jams
interrupt, but
dance.
the
Story
store
from
just
Princess Hedgehog.
wow.
Enjoy playing.
We got
with
a
all
dance
the
party,
toys.
a cool rule. Wow, it's everywhere. We just got quite a bit of fun stuff just got dropped in the store. Thank you so very much, chat. That was
Holy crap!
very
Oh, man.
very generous
Thank
of you.
you.
Wow, I don't know what to say to that.
I only have one
Goodness.
question. What song are we dancing to?
That is a good question. I'm going to leave that for our amazing people in tech to work out. But just so everyone knows, there are currently 3 friends with benefits, so 3 available bennies that any member of the cast can spend. There
I
are
see
2.
5.
No,
Bennies.
is it 5? Because
No, I was just looking at my fellow castmates.
oh yes. There are 3 bennies that can be spent. There are 2 treat the GM, so 2 extra bennies for me to use to reroll.
What?
There are
Oh, no.
2 win, lose, or draws. So twice you can choose to draw 2 cards, or 2 of you in the same round could do so. It's up to you guys to spend those how you see fit. And I believe we are a little over halfway, or a little under halfway on a rule of cool also already. So there's a lot already in that store. Thank you
Goodness.
so much, chat, for that. Wow, thank you. And I am sorry to have interrupted you, John Stone.
Very well. So, if you feel like you've all met each other, gotten acquainted, give each other a hug, we can begin some briefings and get down to what we're here for.
Hugs?
So can I get out now then?
Yes, you're out.
Sweet.
Rhonda just goes around and awkwardly tries to hug everybody.
Embraces everyone.
Oh, I know. I when she gets there, she gets like the warmest hug, and I even pick her up a little.
Ranger Rhonda, check your pockets after that hug.
Wait a second.
Oh, yeah. You probably want the cuffs back. That's.
Okay, I actually missed something in the store. Somebody already bought a story time, but I didn't see who you bought it for. So whoever got that story time, if you could let us know which one of the cast needs to tell you a story about their past. I am very curious as to who you chose.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Princess Hedgehog, I believe. So before we go any further, Princess Hedgehog, would you grace the incredible fans of the Reliables with a story from the past?
Oh boy, and I sure can. Okay, well, a long time ago, and this really was ages ago, like maybe, I don't know, like 8 Thursdays ago. Anyway, no, probably before that, because for a while I guess I was a slave, whatever that means. Yeah, so back on my planet, before everything, of course, went absolutely belly up, there was an issue with the line of succession, which I know is super important to all of you. Obviously, succession is super important to anyone. Anyway, apparently some spores got on one of my siblings, and they started shooting out little spore babies all over the place, and we were like, oh my god, what does this mean for the line of succession? I mean, at that point in time, I was 3,387, like, away from being, the supreme ruler, but now that everybody's gone, I guess that just means that I am the supreme ruler. But at that point in time, we were like, oh no, do all of these random spore babies come before us? Do we even know where these spores came from? Like, are these spores from a royal family member, or did they just float on the wind? It was really awkward for a moment until we realized, in fact, they had just flown in on the wind, and we're only half goblin.
Thank you
I'm sorry,
very much.
Does everybody understand how reproduction works, or is it different on this planet?
No, that's the same.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check because, it can get confusing. Right. Sometimes people think that, like, touching is involved.
Thank you for that unsolicited story about your life, Princess.
I feel like I learned something.
Does anyone else have confession? Is that what we're doing now? Are you all ready to work, or are you just going to start telling ghost stories?
I also stole Rhonda's wallet.
I think Jonah Mox is innocent.
Yeah, Rhonda, check again. Make sure you have all of your belongings.
Stuff back, Jonah Mox?
Sorry.
Where's the picture of my family?
That's also right here. Yeah, sorry. It's out of my system now, boss. No more crime for me, ever.
With that, a voice calls from the bridge area that he pointed out. Stone, everybody aboard, we ready for takeoff?
Team, trust me, you're going to want to hold on for this.
Sure.
Do we have chairs?
This isn't the first crappy spaceship I've been on, John.
How many of them were made crappy because of you, John Amux?
It's the first crappy spaceship I've been on.
Super good one. Sick burn, dude.
And then, clearly not waiting for a response from John Stone, you feel the sudden lurch in your stomach and have to hang on to a wall as the ship jerkily takes off into the sky, bounces you around for a bit, and then sort of levels off. But every so often you hear like faint metal vibrating or shaking, and get the feeling that this thing could just like come apart at any minute.
So let's get this straight. You did sort of just blame me for this ship being crap, right?
Oh, not this one.
Just
other. Is it your fault?
Just other ships.
I mean, I'm not worried, but are we gonna die? Because I've got some last rites I gotta get started.
You'll be fine, Ranger Rhonda.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like a suicide mission at all.
Wait, so if you're a thief, if you stole a part of the ship, you would tell us, right?
If I stole a part of the ship wouldn't go. Why? Do you think I'm just going to take anything that's not nailed down?
That's what John said.
I mean,
John
possibly.
is a thief, but he's not suicidal.
Just because I can survive in the deeps of space and you can't doesn't mean I'm just going to take a part of the ship and steal it when the life support goes off and you all freeze to death slowly. That'd be weird.
Why?
That's very specific.
You're right. My apologies.
I will say
If
this:
it's,
John Amux is a very well documented thief, but he is not a murderer.
Yeah, these little marks on my face were because I was very sad in prison.
Paul,
If it's any
do you have anything to add?
consolation.
Anything to ask? I know you're inquisitive.
I just wanted to chime in and mention that if the ship were to break apart and we were to all drift about in the deep blackness of space, I would also survive and remember all of you.
Apparently not.
Keep you.
That's great news.
Are there escape
I thought it
pods?
would be
Fortunately,
comforting.
as a cyborg guy, can hear all frequencies, and he is inquiring about your hair, John Amux. Why do you look like a ferret at a punk rock show?
Oh, because actually I'm half ferret and half punk rock show. So there you go. Question
there you
answered.
go. There you go.
Did your parents
Paul the
release
scientist.
spores at a punk rock show?
No, well, my
Why
uncle
were there
did,
ferrets?
and he was acquitted though. So it was a men's room. So I mean, it was a men's room at a punk rock show. But yeah, you're not supposed to release spores there either. Apparently, that's bad. He's also not allowed in J.C. Penney's anymore for the same reason.
All right, so zip it and prepare for your briefing. We do have actual work to do. You can get to know each other later on, but something very, very important has been brought to our attention. So, we have the ability on this ship to skirt between dimensions, sometimes affecting time as well as space. And this mission will be one that will enable me to evaluate you based on your capabilities. I know that I've read about you, but I want to see how you actually perform in the field. So consider this in a manner of audition. Even though you've already been selected, we want to know exactly what you're capable of so I know what I can use you for. So here's what we're looking at. There is a certain timeline of Earth where in 1930 we have a Martian invasion. Hopefully you are familiar with the solar system in which Earth resides. Anyway, 1930, Martian invasion. And there are two scientists in Munich, which is in Germany, Hans Bethe and Albert Einstein. I don't know if you've heard of either of them, but in order to make sure that they are able to escape the city safely, you folks are going to be dispatched to go and find and secure them. They're really important to the future of that dimension. So if you go and find the University of Munich, you should locate them in that vicinity, find them, keep them safe, and get them to air base. There is one at Oberhessenheim, if I'm saying that correctly. Never been there, never seen it. But that's where they'll be able to be escorted to safety. Do that. Do not screw up the timeline, okay? I don't know if any of you have ever had the opportunity to time travel, but it's very, very sensitive. So stick to the mission. Don't go off the mission. Don't muck around with anything that's going to alter their timeline. It's essential that you keep their timeline intact and rescue those two scientists.
So, question?
Do you understand?
No. So, moving scientists, that doesn't mess with the timeline?
Do you
Yeah.
understand, Vector?
No.
No,
Can I get a
I'm still
picture of
confused
these
about the
guys?
scientist thing too. So we move scientists from one location to another location, which will keep them safe in history. Is that right?
We have to make sure they don't get killed. So yes, with the
Protecting-
Martian invasion underway, they must escape the city safely.
Now, I've done a little bit of Prime history. This Einstein, is it the same Einstein as like the guy from Prime who did the physics stuff?
Albert Einstein, yes. Now, in that timeline, he might have a slightly different presence, but apparently he's still important to them. Important enough that we've been dispatched to make sure that he gets out safely.
All right. Yeah, I think we can handle that. I mean, we've got a goblin. What else do we need?
Speaking of which, Princess, use your magic wisely, okay? Anything too disruptive to the time-space continuum in that timeline could have dire consequences, right?
I always use my magic wisely. I say as I elect to float off of the floor 3 feet above the floor so that I can be in direct eye contact with Jon Snow in a flagrant waste of my magic.
Right. Well, none of that in front of the people of 1930, okay? I'm sure they'll be quite upset to see somebody floating in their presence, all right? That's what I mean. Just be careful.
Yes, sir. We've got it,
Does
sir.
no
Thank
one
you, sir.
float on
Thank you
their
for the
planet?
opportunity, sir.
How
What
do
is
they
that,
get around
Princess?
if they can't float?
This being an alternate universe, are there a lot of? Do we know anything about it? Are there any variations on the Prime, or is it somewhat similar? Like, is
My
it
understanding-
Prime but with magic? You know, like what are we dealing with here?
You have to find out when you get there. That's why it's important to keep a low profile, observe for a while so you know what not to do. What not to do, John Amux, what not to do.
Are there other aliens on this Earth, or do we have to travel in disguise?
There are Martians.
That's a good question.
Real good question.
Yeah, but Martians aren't really aliens. Aren't they just like pods from Mars?
Compared to the people of Earth, they are quite alien. You'll be able to identify them. Just don't stand out, okay? This is a covert operation.
Who can't spot a Martian, though? They're 12 feet tall. They have 3 legs. They rock around. Am I the
My
only one who
directive-
knows this?
How are they invaders?
John Amux, my
They're
directive for
practically
you,
neighbors.
my directive for you in particular is to not screw up their timeline. Ranger Rhonda, you're in charge of the team. You are to ensure that that does not happen. The timeline stays
Absolutely.
intact.
Timeline
Thank
stays
you
intact,
for
and
the-
more importantly, we have to not screw it up. We need to make sure that it's a good timeline and not a bad timeline. Following the rules, staying in the box.
Right.
We'll get those
I'm going to
two
prove myself
scientists
to you, Jon Stone. I'm going to prove myself to you, and I'm going to be your favorite. You're going to love me. We're going to hug. You're going to send me my birthday presents. You're going to call me on Christmas.
Right. That would be
Secretary's
delightful.
Day. You're going to, yeah, we're going to be best friends. You going to hold my hand the whole time, too?
Oh, I'm not going to be there.
Oh.
No, I just
Better.
told you. Ranger Rhonda is in charge. I'm going to be observing you. This is your first field test. You'll be dispatched, and you will carry out this mission.
Hi, excuse me. Hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, excuse me. So you're not going to be there?
I am not going to
I'm
be
just
there. HR.
wondering, because I feel like if everything is as important as you think it is, and you think somehow we're going to screw this up, which obviously we're not going to screw this up, but like, shouldn't you be there, you know, to like pull like an emergency brake or something if we like veer off the road of the timeline? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you think it's a little bit reckless, just a little bit reckless to send us in there without any support?
Oh.
Right? I mean, what if one
That
of
is a
us got
fair
hurt?
question. That's a fair question. I thought about that myself. But the point is, I have to know just what you're capable of and how much I can trust you. Now, I will be observing, I'll be listening, I'll be monitoring, and if anything really hits the fan, I will be able to come down and assist. But with all of you and your capabilities,
Right.
that shouldn't be a problem. Right, Ranger Rhonda?
Absolutely, sir. You're sending us on a mission in which you have already determined that we can succeed on. It's a test of our skills, and we are ready to show you what we are made of.
It's probably a metaverse with a static timeline, so we can't mess anything up anyway.
We'll see that you don't. Simple mission. Locate them, get them to safety. That's it.
Great. Scientists to often
I can't.
Any other questions before you take off?
Question here.
Yeah. I got a question. So,
Pierce, could you get the AI to chart? Just a moment. Adjustments here. Catalog vectors.
So,
communications.
can you hear me clearly?
Range. Everything he says must be cataloged for posterity. The great vector range.
Oh, yeah. Tie in the comms. Gotcha. Whatever you want, boss. Sure, boss. Whatever you say, boss.
Yeah. Give me a readout of what you just asked so I can make sure the system is working.
Sending it through now.
So you want us to go undercover with a
You should have it.
Rockman, Little Goblin, Jonah Mox? Just putting it out there. Blend in. And also Rhonda in charge?
And also, Paul will be there as your science officer. He is a lexicon of information.
He's
So
also
if
an
you run
8
across
foot tall
anything you don't-
rock.
Yep.
Right, which means you'll have to
Yeah.
figure out how you're going to get him in incognito, okay?
That's what I was going to ask. But one thing real quick. Can you hear me when I'm talking?
Has that been
am I
transmitted
coming
to
through?
me yet, Pierce?
You should have it.
All right.
Johnstone, your
System is
leadership
down again.
qualities
We'll have
are
to-
questionable.
Do some repairs once we set the team off. All right, anyway. Team, go ahead and take 10 minutes to gather your effects and your gear and meet back here. Then we'll go ahead and set you down on the surface.
Sounds good, sir.
During this conversation, you seem to felt like the ship
Hashtag
stopped
Sanders,
moving,
let's hear
but
from
apparently
some of
from
you
what
folks.
John has just told you,
Stories
it's
from Paul and
still
from the
moving
good Ranger
somehow.
Honda. Also, isn't that just like John Stone to stand back and
Well,
let
looks like we
action
got more
happen
stuff in
without
the
him?
store here, guys.
Won't
Looks
know him
like we
thinking
got
of literally
another
anyone
set
else.
of stories. Looks like this time they want to hear one from Ranger Rhonda and one from Paul. So one of you, please volunteer to go. No, how about Rhonda? You just go first. You seem to be really, jumping at the bit to lead the charge. So how about you lead the charge in telling us a story about Ranger Rhonda?
Absolutely. Hi, Ranger Rhonda of the Rangers. Before I went to the academy, I lived on a farm with my 7 sisters, and I am the smallest of my 7 sisters. So you should see the rest of them, right? They are pretty bruised and broken. I am definitely the strongest person in my family and have caused multiple injuries. It's fine. This one time we were ziplining across the pond on our farm. It was my job to kind of get everybody going, and I was just having so much fun, just shoving and shoving and shoving that I didn't realize what the screaming meant in my head was that I had slammed all of them up against the tree on the other side. Man, that was a trip to the emergency room if there ever was one. But my family has always accepted me for who I am and highly encouraged me to go to the Ranger Academy. I believe it's just because they really saw something in me, but man, were they excited to get me out of that house. So, thank you.
Ranger Rhonda, ladies and gentlemen, Ranger Rhonda. And we might have been having a technical difficulty with getting Paul there, but Paul, are we going to be able to hear a story from your mysterious background? I know we had lost audio from you for a minute there. Let's see if we have it back.
I just reconnected.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Now Paul has disappeared entirely. Welcome to the wonderful world of live streaming, ladies and gentlemen, where we deal with technical difficulties on a regular basis. When Paul, oh, there, I can see him
It's a
again. We've
beautiful
got
thing.
Paul back. But can we hear him?
Can you hear me? I gotta know. Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Wait, am I the only one that can hear you?
Yeah, I'm not getting any audio.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Huh. That's vexing.
Maybe I'm just not getting
You
audio.
are a very
Yeah,
valiant member.
everybody but James can hear you, which is unfortunate since he's the boss.
Okay.
I'm going to need a translator for the giant rock person because for some reason it's not sending his audio.
I can see both of our texts, and they're just sitting there with their arms crossed, so it must be fixed.
John Amok says, our system has some issues. Okay, there's a very old ship, and things go haywire sometimes.
Perhaps I could do some repairs later.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm pretty handy.
Now, Paul, since Ranger Rhonda had a time to tell us a story about her childhood, which nobody asked for, you want to take a moment to go ahead and introduce yourself to us? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I would love to regale you all with one of my many stories about myself. So sit tight. It's going to be a long story. Are you comfortable?
No time for a long story, Paul.
Comfy seats to sit in while I tell my long story.
No. Speed it along, Paul.
So yesterday I was eating a sandwich. It was delicious. And I became very curious about what was inside.
I feel like I'm really missing out here.
So I took apart the sandwich, not just piece by piece, but by compound and molecule by molecule and atom by atom. I had to work very hard not to cause an atomic explosion. But at the end, I got the recipe I needed, and the planet was saved from me not making any mistakes during that very complicated process. And now I can have that sandwich anytime I like, so go me.
So was this like a ham and cheese situation, or
Processed food product?
Yeah, like a BLT. Yeah.
Right. Okay, Paul. Thank you, Paul.
I could keep going on.
Does anyone else have any moments of exposition they want to divulge before we get this mission underway? Anyone?
Oh yeah, sure. Are we
Shut
doing
up, John
that?
Mux. All right, we've got a mission.
I mean, I'm always happy to talk about myself, really, as the most interesting character.
Get into a
on
parking
this.
orbit. Get ready to transfer these folks down.
It's fine.
See what they can do.
Coming in for a landing, boss. Enabling cloaking device.
Can we get a cloaking device?
And then you feel the landing. Unlike the travel, which felt nice and smooth for a bit there, when the Reliance lands, you feel every creak of metal, and the sound is quite a loud groan, almost a shriek of steel on steel. Things vibrate, and then it goes nice and still. The ramp that you boarded on lowers, and the away team, consisting of Jonah Mux, Vector Rains, Paul, Ranger Rhonda, and Princess Hedgehog, are able to disembark from the Reliance. And while it is effectively cloaked, as they say, you can't see the ship, it continually flickers every so often, like a bad static signal on a television, and there's clearly something there every so often. This entire cloaking device thing is, it's not 100% effective, quite obviously.
All in favor of replacing the ship, say aye.
Such a piece of crap. It is such a piece of crap. Thank you. I can't believe it flies. I know that it's like very tropey for roguish pilots to walk around or fly around in space transports that might be like less than stellar looking, but have like a secret underneath so they can fly really fast. This doesn't do that. It's just garbage.
This is our.
Are you telling me?
So if we can, I think we should just get
Team.
on board.
Let me introduce you to a concept called priorities. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Priority number 1, get the mission done. Priority number 2, bitch and moan about the ship later. Survive, get back, then we'll deal with the ship. All right?
Okay, Johnstone, thank you.
Go.
Okay.
So is there a volume button on the John Stone? Like, is there a dial I can turn down? Or?
So as leader of this mission, I have something to say.
And then survive?
People should probably disguise themselves.
I think he was fairly clear on those orders. You are clearly in a not so high-tech age of a planet here. There's mostly smokestacks and, it's very, for many of you, very primitive technology, particularly see yourself, Vector, Ranger Rhonda, Paul, John Mox, the tech level here is not particularly high.
Early 20th century prime.
Combustion engine motors, lots of pollutants entering the air from it. And it's even worse because plumes of dark smoke are rising in the sky above the city. And even now, the sounds of weapons fire can be heard. At this distance, once out of the ship, you can even see these terrifying Titanic Martian war machines striding through the city on 3 legs, each more than 100 feet tall, blasting away at blocks of civilization with giant heat beams disintegrating everything in their path.
See? Martians.
Okay.
Well, this is just going to complicate things. Okay, we need to find 2 scientists two scientists. We're going to find them. So we should start looking in the place that they are. So
It's very astute.
thank you.
Well, if they're scientists, wouldn't they be at school?
Yes. Is there a school here? Do you go to school? Rhonda just started yelling. Does anyone go to school here?
Whoa. They probably don't speak Galactic Basic. In fact, I think they're German.
They are distinctly speaking a language that is foreign to you, Ranger Rhonda.
Oh.
And also distinctly very panicked.
Does anyone speak
She's
German?
trying to she's trying to do bad charades of school people, stopping them as they're running
Stop
away and
talking
being
to people. No,
see
Rhonda.
School. No, what?
Stop talking to people.
Well, how else are we gonna find out where the school is?
Paul?
Come on over here.
Do I speak German?
There's a big sign. I don't know. Does nobody speaks?
For yourself, Paul,
I-
despite never actually having been to this particular dimension, it's a rather primitive language that these natives are speaking, and you are able to decipher their intent fairly quickly with your incredible knowledge of hundreds of languages.
I speak German. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? I say.
I have no idea if that's
Well,
right.
I do now, so thanks for that.
I will translate the German.
Indeed. It doesn't take you long, Paul, to determine that, in fact, the University of Munich is not far from here, which you're able to deduce from a road sign.
I gesture in the appropriate
The language is even
direction.
simpler for you to read than it is for you to understand when spoken.
That is Munich, that way.
That's German, all right.
Sorry, I'm picking up on the accent. It's happens all the
Yes,
time.
I am still dealing with the technical difficulty that I am not hearing the store on my end or Paul speaking on my end. So I'm glad that everyone else still is, but I am not.
Wonderful.
That does explain why you
You're
keep
just
talking over
missing a
both the
terrible
store
accent.
and Paul.
Yes. I can't hear them.
Paul, can you tell us what the sign says?
It says Munich's that way.
Okay, what is this sign?
Munich. I believe that's where we need to go. Yeah.
Can I just
What does that
quickly
sign say?
grab some large trench coats and just toss them over Paul? Like in a big fancy hat? Just like, oh, don't mind him. He's just a 9 foot tall guy. And then a small one for Princess.
Who does the magic here?
I do magic, but I have absolutely nothing to hide whatever that is.
I was actually worried about whatever you are, since you're 3 feet tall and green.
Trench coats.
I look like a human child with a birth defect or 5. Well, people can be so mean.
Yeah, they were really forgiving to birth defects in the 1930s in Germany.
Trench
This
coats.
is more or less my plan. I'm just going to be flagrantly me, and hopefully somebody takes me to a doctor. And hopefully it's
no.
Albert Einstein. Goodness.
Einstein's not that kind of doctor.
Neither is Goebbels.
There's more than one kind of doctor?
Oh my God.
But Paul's a doctor of everything.
Neither is
I thought-
Mangala.
Yeah, you can be a doctor of music.
Looking around, though, people seem to be rather preoccupied with the things that are making the burning in the area.
Yeah, they are obviously highly panicked, people screaming and running away or trying to get into very primitive automobiles and drive away. And meanwhile, these tripod things continue to stride through the city, disintegrating blocks, individuals, burning holes and things. It is incredibly destructive to observe.
Okay, I'll steal us some clothes. Everybody stay low.
Steal an automobile as well.
You happen to be right
I'm
out
going
front of
to.
a storefront that is, in fact, a clothing retailer. It was open, but it seems that the proprietor is not in attendance, as maybe the events that are occurring have probably frightened them away.
Is it a big and
I
really,
enter
really
the
tall?
store. I enter the store very sneakily by smashing the front window and walking through it.
Fair enough.
You didn't have to. So this is how you plan to show that you're a more moral being now?
Look, while we're
Just out of
here,
curiosity.
you just have to keep in mind that you're actually just a tiny little monster. So I'm going to put some clothes on you so you look less like a tiny little monster.
Now that's
Hurtful.
That's
not
it.
And hide my beautiful essence?
Yeah, we need to hide the shit out of that because it is hideous by human standards. So I don't know what you want me to do.
I think
Rock,
you're
we're
just
just going to
fine.
ride around and
Yes.
pretend he's a horse.
No. I'm a size 92,
It also
just so you
seems
know.
that as far as
Keep an eye
technical
out.
difficulties go, I'm not hearing Vector Reigns either.
That's probably for the best. All he's been doing this
fine.
whole time is saying that he can be leading instead.
It's true.
Well, you know, he was pretty famous for leading commando teams for a long time, so
That's the fact.
I understand that. He even had his own reality show.
It's Vector.
All right, so I get clothes to fit everybody but Paul.
Yeah, finding clothes that will fit Paul is pretty much an impossibility, but clothing everyone else is very quick and very easy. The clothing is, relatively simplistic compared to what you're used to, Jonah Mox. I mean, you're used to clothing that fits for people that can change their size, their mass, their shape, and this stuff's just plain, and you put sleeves on and pants on, and it doesn't really work.
Good stuff. I don't wear the things. They're awful. Clothes.
Let's cut a hole in a blanket and drape it over Paul, and then put a hat on.
So you're able to
Right.
get clothing fairly reasonably quickly and are continuing to follow down the street in the general direction that sign that Paul was able to read indicated. And not too long into that travel, you find one of these giant tripod-like machines has stepped around some blocks and is kind of definitely headed directly towards you on its path, disintegrating buildings and cars that are trying to escape down the street. And it is getting closer and closer and is 100% between you and your destination if you continue in this straight line.
All right,
Princess,
game plan.
I'm gonna shoot its legs.
Okay.
What was that?
I was actually wondering if we could try to diplomacy. That is an awfully big creature, and I am unprepared to fight today. I didn't bring the right shoes.
No,
I would also
we're
like
not
to try
diplomacy.
I'm gonna shoot some legs.
You know, why not?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's not Paul. It's Steven. Alter ego.
I found some accessories.
He's now an 8-foot-tall rock with a hat and scarf on.
It is
Scarf looks like a blanket.
it is a pretty dashing hat and scarf. Let's be honest.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
All right, so James, in case you couldn't hear, Vector Reigns would like to shoot it in the legs.
What happened to diplomacy?
I talk with my guns. When it's an 80-foot tall robot that's disintegrating things.
I don't even know if he heard me.
Who knows?
Oh,
Is he back?
I can hear everyone, and I can see everyone again.
That is lucky for us. I'll let Vector Reigns say what he's going to do then.
I'm gonna shoot its legs.
All right, the 100-foot tripod machine. You're going to shoot its leg. Okay. All right, so Vector Reigns picking a fight. We're going to start with some shooting tests. Well, tell us about what it is exactly that you're using to shoot and what kind of technique you're using to shoot this 100-foot tall tripod moving Martian war machine.
Well, I
does it sound
happen to
like a better
carry 2 particle beam pistols that also disintegrate things. So I figured that since I'm good with 2 guns, I'm going to pull them out and shoot them in the leg.
Okay. Shooting at the legs. All right. So I'm going to need 2 shooting tests with your wild die attached to those because I believe you've got the 2-gun kid edge. Am I
do.
correct?
I do.
All right. So you get to roll 2 shooting tests and your wild die as you fire both pistols at once. And what is your shooting die so that our amazing in-studio action rolling extraordinaire can do that die roll for you?
My shooting die is a D10.
And then the D6 wild die also.
This is 6. 11.
And my first shot gets +1 because I'm Vector Reigns.
So that is 12. And usually there would be a -2 penalty associated with making a called shot. However, because of the size of this creature, there's also a +4 bonus to hit it. So that kind of offsets that, meaning that first one was a 14 on the attack roll, being a successful hit with a raise for that first shot. Now let's see the results of that second shot before we roll damage, shall we? So one more D10 and D6. Whoa.
Hashtag shout out, trust Vector Reigns to whip it out in the middle of the street.
You're not wrong.
I show what everybody wants to see. I'm going to use a Benny on that because that was a very poor roll.
All
and Vector
right.
Reigns doesn't fail.
Okay. That's a good motto to go by. So even with re-rolling, you get the 7 there. Subtracting 2 brings us to 5, but then adding 4 brings us back to 9. So both shots are in fact with a raise. So what kind of damage does that pistol do with a raise?
So with a raise, it's 3d8 plus 2d4.
Wow. So each one of those shots, 3d8 plus 2d4, directed at one single leg of this Martian tripod war machine. That is some serious damage from a pair of pistols.
Are we gonna roll it? Oh yeah, okay. So we're just gonna talk about the damage. It's fine.
Hey, I was doing a delay tactic there as I was waiting for the dice to come up on the screen.
We can talk about the cool special ability of these pistols.
Tell me about the cool special ability of these pistols.
Well, if the target does not have MDC armor and it's wounded by this weapon, then they roll a vigor, and if they fail, the limb is completely disintegrated.
Well, it is a good thing that this 100-foot-tall Martian death machine happens to have what is considered MDC or heavy armor in the Savage World systems.
I figured it may.
So how about that 3d8 plus 2d4 damage from the first shot?
Whoa,
2d4.
no.
Wow, one of those exploded. So yeah, that was right, and explodes again. Wow. I'm going to take that original 4 that was rolled for that first exploding die and then add the 1 to it. So we had a 23 damage shot for the first one to that one leg, which again, this is an extraordinarily tough, monstrous war machine. So your single shot with a pistol, which should, turn a person into atoms, does in fact destroy a large portion of this leg, and it wobbles slightly as the second shot at, again, another 3d8 plus 2d4 damage. Oh man. Thankfully, not as high damage, at least as long as you're the Martian pilot on that particular. That's still, however, going to be a fairly significant amount of damage, enough that I'm going to go ahead and use that one Benny that got purchased for me by chat to try and absorb some of that damage, because I don't necessarily want this Martian war machine to just fall down instantly from Vector Reigns. So it's going to get to make a vigor roll to try and absorb against that, and it gets to roll a d12 to try and reduce the damage on that. So I will take a single d12 and hope I can get a good number. 4 is 1 success, so it's just enough to get rid of 1 wound so that this Martian war machine is not instantly turned into a 2-legged thing by Vector Reigns in our first surprise round of combat. Oh, and we've got some communication from John Stone.
Ranger Rhonda, do you read me?
Yes, sir. Reading you, sir. We are in mid-battle right now. So yes, sir.
Keep in mind, you're in the middle of a populous city, one of the most important cities in the entire country. So shooting gigantic 3-legged alien ships and causing them to collapse on city structures is a bad thing. Find some other way to demobilize those ships.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good. I love you.
In Rhonda's defense, I really don't think that was doing any more damage than the tripods were already doing.
Princess, you have your directions. Carry them out.
Follow directions, Princess. Gosh.
Well then.
I'm following directions, but I'm also being a good team member by supporting my team.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, with that surprise action having been done, we're going to go into initiative. Oh, man. So that means that our amazing techs in studio are going to deal cards. And check this out, audience at home. You're going to actually get to see the initiative cards as they are dealt.
That is lucky.
And if one of you guys wants to, there is that win, lose, or draw in the store. So you could draw 2 cards if you felt like it and take whichever one you wanted. So let's see what happens as these get dealt. Look at that. Is that not slick or what? Cards on the screen. Now, I noticed before we deal with anything else that Vector Reigns only has a 5 over there. And because Vector Reigns is quick, he's got to have better than a 5. So we've got to deal him a different card, and it's got to be better than a 5. King is definitely better than a 5. That's going to work. All right.
I want to do a win, lose, or draw.
All right, 1 more card for Rhonda, and she gets to choose between the 2 as the win, lose, or draw is expended. Ouch! I'm gonna guess you're gonna keep. Wait, you do have. You have quick also. And so we've got to give another card. Rhonda exploiting the rules. Getting those 2s out of the deck. Wow, we've got some really high cards over here, but it looks to me like the ace of spades over there is going to be the first card in the lineup.
Great, wonderful. I was really hoping this would happen. What do you need from me? I start looking around at all of my teammates like, what? Am I just supposed to come up with something to do on my own? I'm a support, y'all. Like, do you want, I can't... Do you want heal? Do you want protect? Do you want me to fly? I can fly.
This is the situation where we're back on the farm. If you pissed a bull off, what you didn't want to have it do was run through the farmhouse. So what we need to do is try and pull or maybe do like a decoy situation to try and get the machine to move away from the buildings. If there's an area nearby that is maybe void, a little more open space.
Is there a park?
Either way.
Is there a park or a wide open space?
There doesn't seem to be much in the way of wide open spaces other than the blocks so far that the Martian war machine has atomized using its gigantic heat ray that seems to be capable of taking out a city block at a time.
Okay, so you can't smash a city block that's already been burned to the ground. I think that might be a good way to go. What do you guys think? Yes? No? Vote?
Let's make them fall.
Thumbs.
Timber.
Okay. Princess, I just magic and royalty. There's just so much to you. Is there anything you have that could help us?
She's dead.
I can't hear
No
her
audio.
at all.
No.
I've got no audio from you.
Ellen, or Princess.
She has placed a spell over our ears in which we cannot hear her.
Why would you cast silence on us?
It has silenced my ears. No,
We
God,
cannot hear
Princess.
you. I'm
Cone
so
of
sorry.
silence.
Princess, I can't hear you.
Oh, tech issue.
I mean, she's not talking. That probably has a bit to do with it. Try to say
Yes, no?
something. Anything at all, Helen.
You have very large
Vector
ears.
just standing there like flipping guns.
Yeah, I'm just.
Oh, that's very good.
Yep, it is some brand new and being a little rough on the tech.
Yeah.
Charade.
Yeah, she's not even. We don't know if we can hear her, but she definitely can't hear us.
No.
She can't. Can you refresh your browser window and re-enter the password? You can't hear me, so you have no idea what I just said.
Yeah, that
Chat
didn't.
might work.
Close.
You can
out
chat at her.
and then open. These are
Okay.
I
It
no
worked.
longer see her on my end, so maybe she is attempting that on her own.
charades.
What I'm hearing is that we're skipping her turn.
Sounds
We
accurate.
will come back to Princess Hedgehog because we do also have three kings right behind that. Wow. King of Spades goes first among kings, as in Savage Worlds, it is reverse alphabetical order on tied cards.
So what I've heard is that we can't let it fall into a city block, but there is a city block that is no longer there.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I'm gonna try to shoot it so it falls that way, like chopping a tree.
Okay.
So
okay.
so I've already got one leg almost gone. right?
Yes.
So
You could perhaps theoretically destroy a leg that you have not damaged and finish destroying the leg that you've already damaged, and then it would fall in the path of destruction that it has already wrought. But I mean, you're going to be trying to take out two giant War Machine tripod legs at once. That's a bold move.
I like those odds.
It does sound very on brand for Vector Reigns.
So I'm wondering if I could try to tag team with my compatriots if I can shoot out the other leg, and then I notice that Ranger Rhonda has something that might displace a giant thing. So if I shoot out a leg and then she were to crash it the way that we want it to fall, is that a possibility?
It is distinctly possible, and with all of those kings, there's a chance that it might actually happen before anything terrible can happen.
Well, that sounds like a let's do it. So,
all right, we're going to need some more of those lovely Vector Rains shooting tests to pull that off.
So, since I have a 2-gun kid, I get to make an extra shooting roll with a second weapon at no multi-action penalty.
That's right.
So if my first action is shooting and then I get a free shot,
yes.
Can my second action then be shooting with another free shot?
That would be the point of 2-gun kid.
So that sounds like 4 shots at a -2.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. And since I am a marksman, I can add +1 to my shooting roll for at least the first one, correct?
Yes, that in fact, for the very, very first one, you will get to add +1 to your marks from your marksman rolls. This is a perfectly reasonable thing in truth,
Totally reasonable.
Considering how titanic your target is. And shooting really big things happens to be a lot easier than shooting really small things.
Let's make it happen.
All right, let's do that first shooting test, which gets that extra +1 into it. Meaning that, including penalties, you're still going to be at +1. So we are going to hit with a 7. That's still going to hit. Vector range showing that incredible marksmanship. We've still got 3 more shots to fire, though.
Oh, then come on.
Benny on that one.
Benny spent. All right, roll that again instead. Wow, so we've got 2 hits so far. Still 2 shots left to make. Vector Rain's just showing up. Oh, that is a critical fail with both ones. You cannot spend a Benny to re-roll. Something bad is going to happen on that one. Oh my, thank you so much. So unfortunately, we're going to stop your shooting right there, even though you have 1 shot left, because both of your pistols, for some reason, simultaneously jam after firing those first 2 shots. That's all that you get. They fizzle, crackle, and sparkle a little bit in your hands.
Oh, maybe there's a laser jammed in the chamber.
Germany sucks.
Work. That's right. Maybe you failed to maintain your weapon, Vector Rains.
Clean your guns.
But let's still get those first 2 damage rolls out of the way, which no raise on those, unfortunately for you. So you're only going to get 2 standard damage rolls of 3d8.
Oh no.
And unfortunately, I already used that, Benny. Oh, and that 8 explodes, so we add to it 22 damage on the first shot. Oh man, and then the second one. Jeez, Vector Rains.
Ranger Rondo.
2 exploding dice. 2 incredible, epic shots. So despite both weapons misfiring, maybe you failed to maintain them, maybe the energy cell stopped working. You're not entirely sure why, but both of those weapons didn't discharge after those first 2 shots, but it looks like you didn't need more than those first 2 shots. As you completely sever that already damaged leg and then add a tremendous amount of damage to that second one, and it begins to teeter and go back and forth, the massive 500-ton body suspended by those legs swaying back and forth and back and forth. And I do see a Princess Hedgehog back. Can we hear her, though, is the question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Princess, you're back.
Oh, wonderful. So glad.
Well, I'm glad you can hear her because I can't, so someone translate for me.
I can't.
Oh my God, are you serious?
I am. I'm sorry. I cannot hear her at this given time, but that doesn't mean we're going to do anything about it other than she's just going to have to tell us what she does, and one of you will have to paraphrase for me as quickly as you can.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
But
swaying
please,
back
someone
and
bring her
forth.
up to speed on the daring actions that Vector Reigns just performed so that she knows what she's working with.
Now I understand. I did hear a lot of this.
She can hear us.
I can hear.
Fortunately, her people
Pew,
are
pew,
experts
pew.
at pantomime.
So great.
Jam,
Let's skip the recap.
jam.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, okay. So what am I going to do? So this thing is swaying back and forth, I assume. So I guess I'm going to.
Two
I don't know.
words.
Did you hear me last time
First
that I
word
said I was
sounds
going
like-
to cast havoc?
She's going to cat. Are you doing that still?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Did
I'll
I
let
do
you
that
figure it out,
before?
and then I'll tell James. James, she doesn't
you know
know
what?
what she's gonna do.
All
Give
right.
us
Well,
just
Well,
a
I
few
don't know
minutes,
what
I
I'm going
guess.
to do because I don't
well,
know
why
how
don't we
long it's
just
going to-
skip ahead as Princess Hedgehog seems to be hesitating from acting.
Seems like she's hedging her
You
bets.
sure you don't want to do something, Helen?
You know what? I do.
Magic fish.
The thing is swaying, right? So I'm just going to fly because you know what? Sorry, Johnstone. I'm really bad at
Is she
fitting in.
still
I'm
working
going
it
to
out?
fly and push it.
She's going.
I'm
She's
gonna push
casting
it.
fly.
Oh, give me a spellcasting roll. I'm not sure what her die is. She's going to have to tell us so the wonderful people in studio can tell what kind of a spell. You don't have to
You can
pantomime
just say
it.
it out loud. You can just
We
say
can
it
hear
out
you,
loud.
Helen.
Yeah,
Oh.
they can hear you just fine, and they're going to make it appear on the screen, and I'll
okay,
just be
we're
able to
rolling
read
on
it just
12s.
fine. Because Tech hates me tonight for some reason. Wow, a 10 is not only a success, but a success with a raise. So you get the raise effect under your fly spell. So that is pretty dang fancy, and you are now flying at quite the pace through the air. Well done. And I will, of course, then hear from Jonamox next as the diamonds goes before clubs when it goes to
I don't
kings.
believe she's done.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, I believe the plan was to fly at it and push it because, you know,
She's flying
why
at it
not?
and
It's already
pushing
swaying.
it. So she means
Flying
fighting.
and pushing at it. All right, I didn't know you were doing a multi-action, but it was still a raise because even a -2 on that spell casting made it into an 8, which was still a success. And I'm going to need an athletics test to attempt to push over the 500-ton machine.
37 pounds of mass.
Wow!
You can do it.
So you can tell that this was very well thought out because my athletics is a
So
4.
roll that really big athletic skill that you
It's
have.
gonna be like when that squirrel
Yes.
tried to punch my Volkswagen.
Yes. She's the
That's
size of a toddler,
precisely
but she's
what
going
we're
to push
doing.
it over.
We got a 1. What about the wild
yeah.
die? You still get the wild die? Oh,
I still get a
4.
wild die.
And you hit it, and for a brief moment, you almost feel like you're gonna succeed, Princess Hedgehog. It sways backwards and then sways back forwards, and while you didn't knock this thing over, it is now moving fully back and forth, almost like a pendulum, barely staying up on those 2 legs. And to the rest of you, it looks horribly terrifying as it drifts back and forth, like it could perhaps fall on you and crush you to death at any given moment.
Because it could.
Yes, it very much could.
Because-
Jonamox, King of Diamonds.
Because
You're gonna
I
be
did
next.
succeed, I am going to turn around and be like, "You're welcome, everybody."
She turns to the camera and poses. She wants you to know that.
Yes.
All right. So they're fighting the 500-foot tall monster,
Seemingly.
which is standing between us and where we need to go. But where we need to go is just beyond. So
Yeah,
I am
it's
going
still
to,
there.
I am going to make a multiple actions in that I am going to roll stealth and shape change to turn into a liquid form and get very, very low to the ground and move my full pace towards where we're supposed to be going, just past this thing. So I can at least
Jonamox,
scout it out while they're fighting.
Jonamox avoiding confrontation brilliantly by changing into a puddle of liquid. I believe I'm going to need a focus roll from you. And what's that focus score?
I need a D8.
A D8 and that D6 wild die. Let's see what we can do here. A 6 is a success.
That'll get me there.
And before everyone's eyes, Jonamox shifts from being a standing individual into a puddle of liquid that then oozes across the ground.
Very quickly, I might add.
Very quickly, straight towards the university.
River.
Moving liquid.
And I
Quite
move.
fascinating.
I move my full pace further around.
All
That's what I
right. Absolutely.
At
then we will go to
running speed. And I need a
yes.
stealth roll too.
Oh, we do need that stealth roll. Yes, that's right. What is your stealth skill?
It is D10 plus 1.
Oh, yes. Oh, that 6 explodes. And as that liquid goes out of everyone's sight, it moves underneath the wreck of a car, and then you don't see it again. The liquid that is Jonamox is simply gone. Perhaps he has abandoned you. Perhaps he's up to some daring, risky combat maneuver. There's no way you can possibly know. And that goes to the King of Clubs, which is next as Ranger Rhonda is up.
Just shaking her head at Jonamox. No honor among thieves. How many moves would it take to get to the leg that if that's the like far side, the one that would get it to tip?
You could rush right down the street up to that leg and get there if that's what you wanted to do.
That's what I would like to do. So I want to use the impact maul on see if I can just come up and just take a big whack at the leg.
All right. So that's going to be a fighting test. And what is the die that you have for fighting, Ranger Rhonda?
I have a D12 for fighting.
Wow. A D12 for fighting. A 6 explodes. And we get a total of 10, which of course, because you're hitting such a large object, it's actually a 14 because it is much easier to hit a giant leg that is the size of a car than it is to hit a traditionally sized object. And that is going to hit with a raise. So you will do your impact maul damage plus an extra D6. So what damage are you going to be inflicting with that terrifying weapon?
So I have a D10 plus 2D8. And then plus the D6, and then plus 4.
And then 4 straight added on top of that. Wow. So we're looking at 25 damage inflicted. And unfortunately, I don't have another Benny I can try and spend to soak up that damage for the giant tripod. And you completely break that leg in half, taking a segment out of it in an entirety and launching it across the street and send the entire monstrosity falling to crash where it has already walked through and destroyed and sprawl in a heap. Metal everywhere. And in that moment that it happens, because high up there, pushing on it with all of her might, Princess Hedgehog neither saw nor heard you strike it. To all of your beliefs, Princess Hedgehog, you believe that you just shoved this thing over.
I did.
You think that you did it.
Yes, I know. Because I did.
I know you can't hear her, but she agrees.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do something about that, perhaps, or just get on with life. You have now liquid form as the combat has entered the grounds of the university, and cowering just inside that main entry hall are a pair of individuals whose faces look just like the ones that John Stone showed you for this Hans and this Albert character.
Excellent. I'm going to render them both unconscious.
And how are you going to do that? I'm just curious.
I'm made of liquid right now, but I'm still humanoid in form. I'm just going to put my hand on their faces until they pass out.
Fair enough. I'm going to give them both vigor rolls to try and not pass out. So
I'm
each
going
of
to
them
make an athletics test to strangle the life out of them.
Yes, so these are going to be opposed rolls.
Just the breath out of them.
These are going to be opposed rolls. So for you, what is your athletics that you're going to be rolling? And I'm going to try and oppose that.
Okie doke. Let me just take a look here at my old character sheet.
Character?
Yeah, that's what they're called. You didn't know that? Well, you really are new at this. No, athletics. It's the first skill. It's a D10.
A D10 for athletics, plus your wild die. You're going to get a 5 on that one, which, considering that these scientists are not in the best of physical shape.
You specifically said cowering.
Yeah, they're going to get to roll a D4 and no wild die to try and stay conscious. So a 3 and a 2 for the two of them. That's just not going to work. And you use liquid to smother the two scientists into unconsciousness right? In liquid form. You are shortly thereafter.
Like waterboarding, but less painful and more unconscious rendering.
You are shortly thereafter joined by your companions, who you all find Jonamox, still in a liquid but humanoid form, standing over the two unconscious forms of the scientists you're here to rescue.
Got them.
What happened to the scientists?
Good work.
They're sleeping right here.
They were taking a nap in the building.
Well, they were cowering in the building, and I'm assuming they got tired.
I can't sleep for anything. That's really impressive. These guys are great.
Sometimes when the body is under a lot of stress, it just shuts down, you know?
Oh, all right. I gotta figure that out.
I'll cover you while we get them out of the building.
Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna pick
Jonamox, do they need healing?
Let's see.
No, they should be fine.
You are quite capable of picking up and carrying both of these very typical humans. They're no real weight to you and your incredible ranger physical conditioning.
And as she's picking them up, she's very sweetly whispering, "Hi, my name is Rhonda, Ranger. I'm here to rescue you. I am a beacon of light. I am a ranger." And she's just like,
I'm going to have a look around.
That is the cutest thing in the whole damn world.
I'm here to save you.
Well, you're halfway there. It's pretty empty. It seems that there is the two of them were trying to just wait for their moment to make a break for it, and it probably were just about to before that giant tripod monstrosity entered the street. You know, seeing it probably kept them indoors a little bit longer than they planned on being.
Fair enough.
And the wreckage is still laying out there. You're halfway there. Now all you need to do is get these poor scientists who are unconscious to a airfield, which is not too distant.
All right.
Paul, can you find us where the nearest airport is with your speaking of Yerman, I believe it's called.
Yerman.
It seems like it should be
it's
possible.
pretty apparent to you, Paul, because, when you were looking at the signs that pointed out the university, there were also signs that indicated this airport that you're supposed to go to. I mean, this language is just way too simplistic for you. How these beings on this particular dimension can communicate with any form of complex thought is beyond you.
Yeah. The tiny brains of this planet have made such a simple language. I learned it in 5 minutes. The airport's that way.
All right, well, let's go that way then.
It's over there. Yeah, no, it's that way. It's it's over there.
John Stone, we have the assets. Just letting him know. Can we radio him?
Very well. All right. Get him to safety. Make sure that nothing else is destroyed. Keep a low profile. And then once he's safe, get back to the ship.
When you say make sure nothing else is destroyed, do you want us to take out the aliens that are actively destroying things?
At this point, that'll be something that the council will see to. Council of Peers has other assets. That's not your concern right now. But you've got the professor, you've got the scientists, so bring them to the safe point, and you'll be done.
Question.
Now, when you say
Yes, Vector.
that there are other assets, do you mean other than us? Like we're not special? Is that?
That's what I thought, Vector.
Okay, no. Question. I was letting the princess go. She's royalty. when you say low profile, is that not letting them know our names but still posing, or is that no posing but still saying, "Hey, Victor did this"?
All right, look. No one needs to know of your existence, all right? That would be considered a fail. Any alteration to their timeline or society or history is a major fail. Got it?
Except for these two guys.
Yeah, they're good.
Get them to safety.
Hold up.
That's it.
People
Hopefully
should
they'll
know
just
what I
chalk it up
did.
to co-hallucinations.
People should know what I did, though.
Sir,
You
thank
alley-oop me
Okay,
well,
I defeated
princess.
a Martian.
Hold up.
Hedgehog looked
I defeated
exasperated.
him.
What's her problem?
I defeated a Martian. People should know I defeated a Martian.
Ears got blown out when the thing fell. I can't hear either Paul or Princess Hedgehog.
Oh, I haven't said anything
Oh,
in a
the
minute.
lovely joys of technical
Paul's
difficulties.
very laconic.
So
I just didn't
apparently
want
their
to be rude.
communicators,
They had said,
their
make it
communicator
my
must have been damaged in your little battle down there. So go ahead and wrap up loose ends, get the scientists to safety, and get back to the ship.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Very much, sir. You're good, sir. I like your jawline.
You can't even
Such
see
a
his jawline
sucker.
from here.
I know. Just was looking for a compliment.
It was a really good one. It was a nice one. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. We've got our guys. Let's go. We can do this. We're almost there. We haven't messed this up too bad, which is great.
This is perfect.
No.
Is the Martian a loose end that we need to wrap up?
No. Turns out not so much.
Okay. Okay, we're good then.
So, do you guys know anything about Prime history at all?
Who? What?
John Stone's
No.
people.
Yeah,
No.
Oh.
a little
Well,
bit.
Their Germany on their world was a very messed up place during this time.
This is pretty messed up. So, seems to fit.
I mean, there were no aliens, but yeah, they like a few years down the road, this is all bad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Just a
odd.
little
Good,
like
I'm glad
a
we
little walking
stopped for
tour as
history.
we're taking these scientists to safety.
Walk.
But like
Jeremy,
these guys are big time scientists in the future.
Oh, that's good. Paul.
Rhonda kind of does like, I'm a big scientist. No, I'm a big scientist. Sorry, guys. Too much fun. Just too much fun.
Well then.
I'm a big deal. All right.
There.
All right, where are we going, Paul? Just point.
Airstrip.
Oh yeah, the Schlossenbacher.
That's the one.
Hargenbach.
All right.
Schaubenhaven's airstrip.
Rickenbacker airstrip.
None of those things, but close enough. And well, it is not
Not gentle. They're kind of flopping around.
well, it is not an absolutely short distance. There is a rather still functional cargo type truck.
We're going that way.
Not particularly fancy,
Wait.
but if someone knows how to drive.
Oh, nobody can hear James anymore.
I can hear James.
I can hear James.
Oh, you can hear James.
I can hear James.
Great.
I can hear
Oh, we
James.
can't
Okay.
hear James.
So there's a truck that we could get into if somebody can drive it. Can somebody drive it?
I bet you could.
I could drive it, but I'm going to car surf. So
Victor, that is not the mission. We have to get to snotty facing airstrip.
They haven't even invented regular surfing here yet. It might draw too much attention.
I have a skill in riding. Is that the same as driving?
No.
I will drive then. I will drive. God.
Thank you. Thank
Everyone
you.
hold
In
up.
that case, I'm going to use my skill in riding to car surf. That sounded like fun.
That's
Thank
what
you
I was
so
gonna
much,
do.
Victor Rain.
I wanted to car surf so bad.
For those of you that can't hear me while I begin describing the next part, if you do a quick, let them know to
All right,
please quickly,
so-
All right,
quickly
I was gonna,
refresh.
toss these guys.
One second,
in
James is
back.
trying to say something.
Will you have the individuals that can't hear me quickly
What?
refresh and hit the password?
Is he talking again? I can't hear him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you can't hear James, he says refresh and hit the password. Right, James?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's what fixed it so that
Everybody?
I can now hear Xander and Helen again. So hopefully it should make it so you can hear me.
So yeah, if you can't hear James, refresh. Also, apparently no car surfing, but I'm driving the truck. That's what we
Fair
got.
enough. Do you happen to have a driving skill, Vector Reigns?
I do, in fact, happen to have a driving skill.
What is your driving skill?
My driving skill is a D8.
All right, so we're going to need a D8 driving skill with the D6 wild die from Vector Reigns.
Also, I'm curious, can I drive like a maniac?
You absolutely can. What happens if you drive like a maniac, by the way?
I get a +2 bonus if I drive like a stunt car racer to make it look
Okay.
really cool. So,
And we have an exploding die on that D8. So we're going to get a total with the +2 bonus of 15. And
Can you hear me?
Vector Reigns at
I can
different
hear you,
time
Kristen.
power slides this giant monstrosity cargo truck, which is not meant for this at all. Puts it up on two wheels, jumps the curb, and drives it in a fashion that no one should ever drive a 1930s cargo hauler vehicle, ever.
Hey, James. James.
Great. Now that you're back in, I can't hear
James
you.
can't hear me.
Okay, now.
James.
I can hear you, Christian.
Outrageous.
I can hear you.
I can hear Helen.
I
Yeah,
think
but
audio
James-
dictates us on this. We will troubleshoot at a later time because we are getting close to the end. And
I'm
if you
about
can
to
hear
shoot
me,
it, all
that is
right.
what matters. And people can fast forward messages on through as necessary.
Unbelievable.
Germany drift.
Yes, Germany drift in a
Clearly.
cargo truck. A canvas-backed open bed cargo truck. Hauling scientists, a giant rock person, a goblin, a
floating
space ranger.
goblin who's on the canvas roof, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She's still flying.
I'm trying to keep this thing
Lovely.
balanced.
Absolutely lovely.
Just lay on the
And you were
ground in
able
the
to
center,
cross-
Paul.
You were able to cross a lot of terrain that at this point would have been impassable if you weren't absolutely insane and driving a truck in a fashion that it wasn't meant to be driven. As ruins of cars and people who have gotten to wrecks that tried to escape the Martian invasion have clogged up all of these roads. And you race through the entirely closed off fence, knocking it through the air like an action film onto the airfield itself. And there seem to be crowds of people near the only remaining two rather small aircraft. And the people seem to be struggling and fighting over who, in fact, is going to get to be the passengers on these last two.
Oh,
Plan.
no.
Blaring on the horn. Just.
And I do not see Paul or Jonah Mox in my screens anymore. I hope they're there with us.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right,
I can-
how close?
I can
Jonah Mox now.
Great. Can you hear me?
Can you hear him, James?
Of course not.
Of course not.
It's not on your end, it's on mine. Let's just go with it. You can hear me, and that's the important part.
And he's gone.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to work for you to do it. I think it's on my end. Like I said, this thing is doing the weird stuff that it's doing.
Okay. Well, I have a plan if anybody wants to hear it.
What you got?
Rhonda's, like,
I am
almost
curious as to
throwing
what
up.
the princess's plan is.
I was like,
Well,
go ahead.
I am extremely adorable and everybody really, really likes me. So I figured I would run up and be like, I am a child and or woman. Please help me and my daddy.
That's not the worst plan that I've ever heard. I'm going to be honest. And so that he doesn't have to keep doing it, I'm going to try and fix my audio for him very quickly, too. I apologize to everyone watching on this first stream for our terrible technical difficulties this episode. I promise this will not be a regular thing.
That's a big promise. That's a big promise.
Gotta work out the kinks.
So while we're here talking, so we just pulled up, right? How's the trip for everybody? You guys good? Safe?
That was so much fun!
So I'm a really good pilot, guys. Just saying. I'm a really good driver. I'm a really good shooter. So next time when John Stone says you're in charge, Rhonda, he's really talking to me.
He put me in charge. It was my first time getting to be in charge. We got the guys. They're here.
We did, and you did great. You are a great number 2. And from now on, that's a great spot. Every captain, Captain Vector Rains, needs a
Ranger
great number
Rondo.
2.
Yes, Dr. Sir, Captain Lord Stone.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you
I'm not
now.
tracking John Amux. Where is he?
Last I saw, he was kind of a puddle. Is that
I'm assuming no
normal?
one can hear me then.
I can hear you,
Find
Christian.
him.
I can hear
Jonah
him.
Mox.
He had better not be doing anything to screw up this timeline. Because all of a sudden he disappeared off my tracking.
He's around somewhere.
What am I doing? I haven't been able to hear any of you.
Rhonda
Make
just
sure
shows
you-
up and tries to talk to all of the puddles that are in the vicinity.
You have reached the airfield, sir.
Jonah Mox?
Jonah
Jonah
Mox,
Mox,
can you
yep.
hear us?
Can
Okay.
one of you go
I
instead of all
had a
of you?
really great plan. And I haven't heard any feedback yet. So if we could, do you need me to say it again?
I think we do, as we are at the airfield now.
I look like a small human child with many birth defects, so what I am going to do is I'm going to run up to the airplane and I am going to say, "Hello, I am a small child and or woman. I deserve a spot on this plane. Please also take my dad." Please.
My dad's.
I mean, at this point, I don't want to cause any more damage than we already have. And actually, I want to be able to help all of these people.
There's just not enough
This
seats.
is kind of my prime directive.
There's just not enough seats on these 2 remaining aircraft to get all of these people in there.
How
And,
many are there? How many seats are there, and how many people are there?
There's only 8
So
seats
what
on
does
each
it
one of
do?
these aircraft, and there's a little over 20 people who are already here trying to fight their way onto these. And, looking at these people, in fact, one of them, you immediately recognized yourself, Jonah Mox, as you've been spending a great deal of time studying these different alternate Earth timelines. And the individual you recognize struggling so hard, nearly at the front of the line to get on board one of these planes, is one Adolf Hitler.
Oh, he doesn't need to be on the plane.
This
All
is
right.
great. They can hear each other and talk to each other, and I have no idea what anyone is saying.
Oh,
But a refresh.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Is there a way that I can get our group on and get Hitler's group off the plane?
Well, you do have some unique capabilities in some of your more elemental-esque states, which are capable of moving people. I mean, particularly in a gas-like state.
Oh, that's right. I can do a wind gust thing. I'm going to do that. All right. When I say go, everybody get on the plane. Can somebody pass that on to the people who can't hear?
So wait, we're getting on the plane?
Well, we're going to get our guys on the plane.
Okay.
We're going to make a hole.
Okay. So Rhonda, in a moment, we're gonna toss those 2 geeks onto the plane. We're just gonna.
Just like a.
Yep, just a. Like
And I shall
luggage.
become a foul wind.
Really smart luggage.
All right, I'm going to need the focus roll first from you to turn into a gaseous form as you once again shift shapes.
Shapeshifter.
What is that focus roll?
It's
Here,
a D8.
a D8 and a D6 wild die. A 4 is good enough to get a success. And now, using a gust of wind is going to use a shooting die technique. So we're going to need to know your shooting skill. Also another 8. Rather well-rounded Jonamox. A 7 is going to be a success. And you don't have to hit everyone because, of course, you only need to get about 4 people out of the way. And what better than...
One of them is that kid.
Yeah, what better, other than this young man, this Adolf Hitler guy, than the other people, 3 people with him that all are wearing those same funny-colored outfits with the same funny little symbols on the shoulder? I mean, they all seem together. Might as well get them all out of the way.
Rival gangs.
I mean, you've always had a personal grudge with any individual who might be responsible for genocide.
I've got a problem with genocide. It's not that big a deal. Can I also stab him in the liver a little bit?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
you
buddy.
can completely stab him in the liver as well. I will need a fighting die roll for that one, though.
Okay, that's a D12. Oh, +1 because I got a knife. I got to dig around the knife.
What kind of damage do you do with a knife, John?
That is a wonderful question, and I'm glad you asked me. Weapons. Here we go. My knife does strength, which is a D8 plus D6.
Wow.
Plus 2.
Okay, a D8 plus a D6 plus 2 on stabbing Adolf Hitler in the liver, which, let's be honest, we all would love to have stabbed Adolf Hitler in the liver. Let's just get that out of the way.
Is that what I rolled? Because I'll take a Benny.
Taking a Benny. All right, reroll that damage.
I want some good stabbing.
Oh, that's still not a lot better. Want to use another one?
Yeah, I do.
All right, roll that one more time. Let's try and get a better roll.
There we go.
Significantly better.
Yay!
And yes, you cleanly stab this horrible, vile, quite possibly one of the most evil beings to ever walk the face of this dimension, right in the liver. Clear open a great path to load the 2 individuals on board the plane. And then all those other people, no longer having to fight for seats, are able to get aboard the plane. And off the 2 pilots go down the runway, taking off as Munich continues to be attacked by Martians behind you. And not long after, you are able to return to the still flickering in and out of its cloaking device, Reliance. It's actually nicer when the cloaking device is working and you don't have to see how beat up and rusty and damaged it is. The invisibility part helps. It makes you feel less stressed out about getting on board the thing.
Honestly, somebody should ask the captain how this thing is able to rust when it shouldn't even be able to oxidize.
Why can't they get repairs on it? I don't understand.
I think this is as good as it gets, Dr. Rains.
Did Jon Snow earn his entire reputation with his willingness to fly in this thing?
Probably. He doesn't seem to be that good of a leader, so.
Incredible heroic acts. I mean, well, you're probably going to have to debrief with him, so you might hear about some of those tales. Maybe not now, but I'm sure someday Jon Stone will tell you about some of his epic heroism.
I bet the stories are really interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, John, as the crew has returned and is reboarding the Reliance, you have now received a communication from the council notifying you that this timeline has been irrevocably and massively altered. It's seemingly a major historical figure died.
Ranger Rhonda.
I can't hear him.
I cannot hear Jon Stone.
Oh, okay. So all of our problems are solved then.
Yeah.
All right, let me try to come
that's
back
not
in
going to
again.
be the case.
Jon Stone, before you say anything, I need you to know that it was my fault. As the captain of this mission, I take full responsibility.
No, no, that's not true. I was the captain of this mission.
I'm not sure if he can hear us either.
Jonah
No.
Moss wanted me to ask, how does
I have
this
no idea if
rust
John
when
Stone
it
can
can't
even hear us.
Ranger
leave
Rhonda.
it? What? Yes.
One moment. We are having some difficulty with John Stone and our
Hello,
reporting.
team.
John
He's
Stone.
talking.
Ranger Rondo.
I cannot hear him.
Nothing.
John Stone, can you hear me? I need you. I'm
Yes,
going to interrupt
Victor.
you again.
Hit that.
Oh,
hit
I
that
can hear him.
I'm going to let you
Good.
finish,
Well, you-
John. It
I
wasn't
can
our
hear
fault.
John Stone.
Only you?
Do you buy that?
Only
What?
me.
Wasn't our fault.
I would be happy to interpret for him.
Please do.
Nah.
Well, he's not talking right now, but I'm
I'm
sure
good.
what he was going to say is that we have all done an excellent job, and
Yep.
we should all pat ourselves on the back, especially me, because I took out the Martian. So that's pretty much all you need to know. Okay, don't worry, I filled them in. Don't worry.
We're gonna look at the holovids. We're gonna show that we did it together, mostly me, but you also helped.
Ranger Rondo.
I was present and did my duty. I don't understand what the problem is.
Wow.
I killed Hitler a little bit.
Whoa! I don't know who that is. so-
Ranger
I
Rondo.
don't know
Okay.
who that is. I didn't like the way he looked at me.
I don't like how you said killed.
He had a funny mustache,
What?
like a weird mustache,
Can you say liberated
which
from
I
life?
think is probably a fashion
He
profile.
was like young, so it wasn't fully like it was kind of like a
Ranger
pube
Rondo, can you hear me?
stash, but it
Yeah.
was like-
Yeah, he had kind of like a scuzzy
Okay,
thing going on.
I
If
can
that's
hear you,
not a
John
reason
Stone.
to let him die,
Who
I don't
can
know
hear
what
John
it is.
Stone?
I
Raise your
cannot.
hand if you could hear John Stone.
Wait, talk.
Ranger
No.
Rondo.
Okay, nobody can
yes.
hear John Stone but me.
Okay.
This is rough. John Stone is not good with communications.
Vector Reigns.
I'm still deaf.
Can you hear me, John Stone?
Can you hear me, Vector Reigns?
I can hear you.
I
So
can hear
we're
you.
together on this.
So, relay
Why
this to the
don't you
team.
tell the rest of us
I
what
will. I will relay this to the team. Go ahead, John Stone.
Sentence at a time.
I saw John Amok disappear from our tracking system.
John Amox, you disappeared for a bit. He's a little concerned.
Now I have word that one Adolf Hitler has been unceremoniously terminated.
Okay, some dude named Adolf
And you're welcome.
was killed. Or, sorry, unceremoniously terminated.
Right, that guy commits genocide in like 10 years. So I
Okay,
figured.
so John Stone, in his defense,
I don't want to hear it.
okay, you're not hearing it. I'm gonna pull back a second. Calm down.
Whoa.
John Amok, you need to understand one thing. We have orders for a reason.
Jonamox, we have orders for a reason. This is not me. I'm not upset with you. This
I
is
understand,
just John
Victor.
Stone.
Just keep going.
We have
Keep
orders
going.
for a reason. Okay, go on.
I am from Earth, so no one knows
I
more
am
than
from
I.
Earth, oh my smobe. Nah, I'm just trying to read his lips.
No,
It's
that's
not
what he said.
something
He said,
I
I'm from Earth, so nobody understands more than him.
The evil of Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler's evil.
What you don't understand is that now you have altered the timeline of that version of Earth.
Jonamox, you don't understand. You altered the timeline of that Earth.
And now, believe it or not, a much worse threat has replaced Adolf Hitler.
Okay, so John Stone, he said, right, I get that. But then to you, Jonamox, he says, you don't understand. Somebody who's worse has replaced him.
Someone worse than Hitler?
Somebody worse
Yes.
than Hitler?
Worse than Hitler.
Worse than Hitler.
We are given these tasks
Noted.
to ensure that we don't mess them up worse, team.
You
Team-
look really bad.
Team, we're given these tasks. What was that, Jon Snow?
To make sure we don't mess them up worse.
To make sure we don't mess them up worse. He's really
Right.
angry, guys.
Yeah, I can tell.
And now,
All right, well, I'm going to go
I have
to
to do
myself.
everything
and
I
I'll see you
can.
guys in the morning.
to keep you
I'm clearly in trouble. Cool, you just let him know I'm going to my cell.
Shut it.
John Stone, he said he's going to go to his cell. You could brief him in the morning. He knows he's in trouble. He says he did a bad thing. He's not sorry.
Also, but I killed Hitler,
Now-
and you're welcome.
I have to do everything I can to keep you from going in front of a tribunal.
Wait, me?
All of you.
Okay, so apparently now we're all in trouble, and we all might have to go to a tribunal. Just so you're aware, I'm not a fan of this.
Oh no, a
What does one wear to
tribunal.
a tribunal?
Oh, mostly just a jumpsuit.
Oh, cool. I look great in a jumpsuit.
Okay,
John
John.
Hooks,
I look great in everything.
back to
I
your
don't
holding
know.
cell. Everybody else reports now.
Jonah Mox, go to your holding cell. I'm angry John Stone. Everybody else, write me a report.
The last part sounded exactly like him.
That's
I'm on my
what I
way.
hear a lot when he talks.
Wow. Yeah, you guys certainly heard it for that one. Not necessarily the most auspicious start, but it was technically a successful mission. So you can add that to your portfolio. But, reaching a little outside of the lines there with trying to do that proactive stuff. But, maybe somebody might want to talk to Jonah Mox about his anger issues with horrible, vile, despicable, evil, genocidal people.
Yes, clearly I was in the wrong here.
Jonah Mox, I fully support you. And as pretending to be John Stone, I support you too. But angrily.
That was actually a really good job, and I want you all to know that you're all my best friends now.
Oh.
Maybe especially Paul. I'm tracking the intelligence. Nothing weird.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for all of the technical difficulties, has been the first episode of The Reliables, our wonderful brand new series here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel, Twitch. Make sure you check out all the other great stuff we have to offer on the Fantasy Network. There is literally hundreds of thousands of hours of amazing free entertainment you can watch in there. And if you see stuff you like, you can reach out and support these independent artists, these independent creators, help them have more and more projects out there. And hey, speaking of these independent creators out there, have you guys heard about Void Jumpers? Void Jumpers you can watch on this very channel on Wednesdays. Void Jumpers, an epic space opera with some really, really talented, great people in it. We've also got Zoe Game Nights, which occurs on our Thursdays. And I believe we just had a Pandemic Legacy episode last week. And who knows what else is to come on this really, really great show. Zoe Game Night showcases all kinds of really cool things on it. And, you should keep an eye out for other great Zoe shows that will come out along the way. And again, thank you all so very much for helping us out, bearing with us through technical difficulties. And I really hope you enjoyed.
Which are still happening.
Nah.
I really hope you guys enjoyed
as
it.
we speak.
Yes, they're still happening as we speak. I really hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of The Reliables, and hopefully we can get some of that tech stuff squared away before we come back next week, because there's more The Reliables, next Monday, 6 p.m., another episode. That's right. Right here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch. We love all of you guys. Thank you so much for being with us and hanging out with our cast. I know there were store items that didn't come up to get used, and those are, again, part of the technical issues that we're going to have to overcome. But I promise those will not go away. They will be in the store again next week to be used by cast members. That's right. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone. We're saying bye.
Goodbye now.
Thank you.